What's up, gurus? It's your boy Pablo. I hope you're having an excellent one. It is Film Friday, which means that we are going to be talking about an epic movie that we discovered on Ask a Guru, and we want to make sure the whole world knows about this and that we celebrate it with you all, and that hopefully you get to check it out because we know that you're going to love it. And so, without further ado, we are going to be talking about True Romance. And that is directed by Tony Scott and written by yours truly's favorite director of all time, the great Quentin Tarantino, featuring contributions from Roger Avery. And so, gurus, True Romance is a incredible movie, and I will try my best not to ruin it, but just to give you a brief plot overview, it is about a movie nerd and comic book nerd who loves Elvis, and he meets a call girl, and they fall in love, and they get married. Somehow along the way, they stumble upon a very lucrative suitcase containing illicit items, and they are now on the adventure of their lives. And that's where I will leave it, because I want you to watch this movie. If you watch this movie, you will love it. And trust me, you will. And especially if you love Pulp Fiction, like I love Pulp Fiction, and Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie of all time, easily, hands down. If you love Pulp Fiction, you will absolutely love True Romance. And in fact, I believe that True Romance is one of the greatest romance movies of all time. And I'm not gassing it up. I'm not the biggest romance guy. Like, I've never watched The Notebook. Probably will at some point. But I have watched Casablanca, and I love Casablanca. And I think that True Romance has to be up there. Different style, different time, but it's got that love story. So if you love love stories and you love Tarantino, this is a must-watch. And so I just, I really enjoyed this movie. The funny thing is, y'all, that when I saw True Romance recommended to my World's a Stage watch list, which you got to check out because it's got so many great movies, I just knew that my boy Ryan O'Leary, who recommended that movie to my watch list, he's a movie guru. He knows his stuff. Nobody that I know knows movies better than Ryan. He's really got great taste. And so when he recommended it to me, I was like, well, Ryan's got great taste. I'm just going to watch it. I didn't even do that much research. But when I was watching it, I was like, dude, this feels like a Tarantino movie. Like, it had to have influenced Tarantino somehow, because I know Pulp Fiction came out the year later, because this movie came out in 1993. Pulp Fiction came out in 1994. It's like, this had to have impacted Pulp Fiction. And then lo and behold, I realized at the end that Tarantino wrote the movie. He wrote True Romance. And in many ways, True Romance is a cousin of Pulp Fiction, because when I did a little research, I found that there were some scenes that were, basically moved over into Pulp Fiction. And so, again, I love this movie. True Romance is truly a work of art. It is the forerunner to Pulp Fiction. It is the movie that I believe taught Tarantino everything he needed to make the magic of Pulp Fiction. And so, but we're honoring this movie because it stands alone in its own right as a truly amazing movie. And there's so many great scenes. In particular, my favorite scene is the scene where the mafia shows up at the home of Clarence's father over in Detroit. And I won't say too much because, again, I don't want to ruin it for you, but that has to be one of the best scenes in film history. It is so epic and hilarious, and I loved it so much. And, you know, you can't be sensitive if you're watching a Tarantino movie. You just can't be. Because if you are, you're not going to enjoy his movies. But if you are like me and you're not like a sensitive guy, you will just know that you have watched one of the great scenes in movie history. It is that good. And it's such a great movie. So many great characters. And I mean, it's got Christopher Walken, it's got Brad Pitt, it's got Samuel L. I love that Tarantino just keeps working with his buddies. And it's like they've just got great chemistry. Whenever they link up, it is movie history. So I love that aspect as well. You get to see a young Brad Pitt just playing a stoner. It's great. But I love this movie. So many great scenes. And another thing that I gotta say is that Tarantino needs his props, not just as a director, because we all know he's one of the greatest movie directors of all time. He's up there. If not, in my book, he's number one. But he has got to also be acknowledged as one of the great writers in movie history. He is on the level of a F. Scott Fitzgerald, especially in my mind, in terms of portraying and understanding the American psychology, the American lore, who we are as a people. He just gets it. And he's able to put that on the big screen better than anybody ever has. Tarantino is a master. He is truly an American icon. He gets it. He gets us. That's why he's able to create movies that can speak to us. And the characters that he chooses are just, they work because he understands that DNA, that thing that is just American, that lore, that thing, and the pop culture aspect. He gets it better, and he's able to weave that into his stories better than anybody. And the dialogue in the movies, it's just, it is so good. And this movie was the cherry on top. I've always known, like, man, Tarantino, the reason why I love Pulp Fiction is because it is pop culture. It is pop culture. It is Los Angeles. It is Hollywood. It is what movies are. That's what Pulp Fiction is. It's entertainment. True Romance is romance entertainment. It is the perfect union of the two and pop culture. It is genius. And I love Tarantino all the more for it. I've always just loved Tarantino, but all the more now I am utterly convinced of his genius. And, man, you've got to watch this movie. You're going to love it. You're going to thank us. And I thank you, Ryan. You are such a huge guru for this one, I got to say. And what else can you say about this movie? Great characters, great writing, great scenes, memorable. It's got the pop culture aspect, and this one will keep you on the edge of your seat and loving it the entire time. So if you really love Tarantino's movies, this one is one of those hidden gems that a lot of people just don't know about. I didn't know about it, and I've watched like pretty much everything Tarantino's ever done, and I didn't know that this one existed. So this one is like a cutty, but definitely cult classic. And speaking of, another lesson that I learned after watching this movie is that great art is duly appreciated in time. There are so many stories of a great album coming out and only later getting the recognition it deserves. This movie is one of those that when it first came out, it was not a commercial success. But later on, it's being included in top 100 movies of all time, rightfully so. If you watch this movie, you will recognize you're watching greatness. It's that good. And it's just so funny because when it first came out, it was not a big success, but later on, people have recognized that this is a cult classic. This is one of the great works, movies, period, and especially American movies. And so I love that aspect that great art will eventually get noticed and will receive its props. And that's what Ask a Guru is all about. It's all about just finding the great works, giving it its props, telling the whole world about it so that we can enjoy it together. And so I take away and I get inspired by this just to know, like, all right, just make art, make great art, and eventually people are going to come around. And I feel like that's what we're doing on this channel. And so it's just like, again, inspiring from my favorite director. I love that this is what we can learn from him. And I also watched Tarantino on Joe Rogan's podcast, and there's so many great stories that you can learn from the journey of Tarantino about just jumping in, making your dreams and your goals a reality. So he's an inspiration on many wavelengths. So you've got to watch this movie. Watch True Romance. It is one of the great romance movies of all time. It is one of the greatest movies of all time. It set the stage for Pulp Fiction. If you love Pulp Fiction, you will love this movie. And again, big shout out to you, Ryan, for turning us on to this movie. And we have got more great stuff coming for you this week. But of course, it is Film Friday, so we had to lace you with the goodness. And tomorrow we are going to be announcing our Guru of the Week. We've got a special someone in mind, so you gotta stay tuned for that. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe here at Ask a Guru TV so that you can get all of our amazing videos straight to you when they drop. Follow us on X and Instagram at Ask a Guru app. But most importantly, download Ask a Guru. Share with us all of your favorite music, movies, books, and TV shows, and you will get the most amazing, truly life-changing recommendations your way. Because here at Ask a Guru, your taste is the world's next obsession. Peace, gurus.